Ginger Ginger.
Hello everybody, Infinite Shinjo here, and welcome back to Let's Talk Anime, episode 35. So this is a weird experience because I've actually recorded this video already, but there are a couple of things that I wanted to bring up in this video that I didn't bring up in the original one that I felt like I needed to address. And today's episode is Spring 2020 Anime, or as I like to call it, what's gonna get delayed next. With the whole epidemic going around, anime are getting delayed left and right, and weirdly enough, I don't think there are many in this video that I'm discussing that are confirmed to be delayed yet. There are a couple of them that are, and I'll bring it up, but other than that, let's just jump in. So I'm not sure if you would even consider this spring anime, because I think this came out even before the anime season started, I want to say. Either that or I think it was the first 6 episodes was on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the details of it. But anyway, BNA, I watched the first episode in its entirety, and I think almost all of episode 2. I don't remember if I watched all of episode... Oh, I think I did watch episode 2. And I don't know how many people are hyping this up. I feel like there is an amount of people that are hyping it up because it is Trigger after all. But, I mean, in all honesty, you're going to have to let me know if you're watching any of these so we can start a discussion. But in all honesty, BNA, I was interested in it from the first episode, but my hype just kind of died down in the second episode. Not that it was bad per se, because it's still technically a good show. But it's one of those shows, and I think there has been a situation like this, where I've watched an anime that I can describe as this. With Michiru just being Michiru, I guess to put it. And everybody just felt the need to crap on her. Like in episode 2, she teaches the kids how to read and write or whatever. And she gets stuck in the cage with the kids because they're going to be sold or whatever. I don't know the details of it. It's kind of weird. You got to let me know if it changes or anything. Because at this point, the show just seems like, hey, let's just crap on Michiru. But at the same time, I know that Trigger has that reputation of, oh, this anime is about talking animals or magicians or whatever. I know that this isn't animals, but that's the basis that I can explain it on. But it's one of those shows where this seems like it's just an innocent show, but it's really talking about this worldwide problem that's happening right now or whatever. And it's just kind of like, not every anime needs to have a big overarching discussion about the real world like this. And that's what I feel like when I watch BNA. But I can say for a fact that opening is pretty catchy. So what's next? Digimon Adventure 2020. Oh, here we go. The next anime that's delayed. I believe it went up to episode 4, if I'm not mistaken. I only watched up to episode 2. Yeah, because I watched the episode where it ended with spoilers.net. Spoilers.net, it's internet, whatever. But I figured there's no real point in me continuing watching it because it's delayed anyway. So I just stopped it at episode 2. I'm definitely going to pick it back up when I continue it again. But this show is just a nostalgia trip. Anybody that's familiar with Digimon is going to enjoy it. And first of all, I mentioned this in the original video. I grew up on the dub, so it's kind of weird watching the Japanese version of it. I watched it with Try in the Japanese, but it's still taking some getting used to. And thank goodness that the opening isn't the 25th rendition of Butterfly. I get it's a good song. I get that it made Digimon famous. But there's no need to include it in every single Digimon series. But I don't know. There's not really much else I can say outside of just it's a nostalgia trip. Oh no, Glepner. Okay, so feel free to correct me, but as of the 1st of May, this hasn't been delayed yet. which I'm actually glad of, because this show, shoot, I said that this show is a trip, and I am not lying. I don't even know if I can start to explain this show without spoiler territory. So I know that it's made by the same people that made, I think, Tokyo Ghoul, which makes sense because it has the sort of similar vibe, even if I haven't watched Tokyo Ghoul. But this show it's one of those shows that I feel like you can only watch the first time through, then after that you know what's gonna happen next, so it kind of ruins the surprise of it. But I think the best way that I can explain Gleipnir is that it's a show where it shouldn't technically work, but somehow it works. It like embraces its craziness. And especially after watching the last couple of episodes, let me say that Claire is quite an interesting character. So what do we got up next? I don't remember the order that I put these in. Kaguya-sama Season 2. Oh, this is gonna be so hard because at the same time, I want to say this is my favorite anime of this season, but I kind of want to make that be season 1's and not season 2's, because for a show like Gleipnir, where it's starting from the basis of square one, getting everybody interested, Kaguya-sama already has a fan base that's watching season 2. But I will say that Kaguya-sama is one of those shows that I get excited to watch every week. Actually, as a matter of fact, I kind of took a page from V-Fist on this, where him and his group watch anime like once a week or whatever. I don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday or whatever, but that's what I'm gonna try and do with this. That way it's not just like, oh, Gleipnir's on Monday or Tuesday, so I'll watch it then. Kaguya-sama's on Saturday. I just figure it's much better just to watch them all on one day, and every time I watch this, it makes me smile, because it's, I don't even know where to explain it. It's one of those shows where it just hits you just right. And even, well, this is going to be dated now. The most recent episode, episode 3, I believe, where, let's just say, where they're walking out of the club room, and earlier in the episode, Shirogane and Kaguya are looking up at the stars. That second part of that episode just hit me in the feels. I didn't expect that they would go that route so early into the season. Although from what I can gather, they still have to introduce the brown-haired girl next to Chika, and I don't know if they've introduced the girl with glasses yet. They might have, I just don't remember. But then you got the master of music himself, Suzuki, singing the second opening. And for any fans of Kaguya-sama, you're gonna have to let me know if you like season 1's opening or season 2's opening. Honestly, I like both of them. It's kind of hard to pick, even if they are the same artist. I would say, I don't know, I'd say it's pretty dead tie, but at the moment I'm gonna say the second opening. But yeah, overall, if you like season 1 of Kaguya-sama, you're definitely gonna like season 2. Oh boy, here comes another reason that I needed to remake this video. So, Hamifura, my life as a villainess, all routes lead to doom. I believe it translates to. I'm just gonna call it Hamifura just to make it easier on myself. This is the show where, in my original video, I said if I had to drop anything from this season because I have too much to watch, this will be the show. And I feel bad that I even mentioned that, because this show is good. I know even the manga readers that was keeping up with this was looking forward to the anime adaptation of Bakurina and Company. And for people that aren't in the know, apparently her name is Bakurina because she's just a straight up idiot, and I can kind of see why. It's weird that I'm not sure if you could consider this a sound argument, but when I think of this show, I also think of Clannad, because the Clannad games, at least, have that whole dating sim sort of style with it, and that's what this show is based off of. It's definitely not the same plot, concept, whatever, but just the fact that they're both dating sim games, that's the only comparison that I can make. then just the fact that Bakurina ends up just having all these guys and even girls swooning over her essentially, just because she ends up in the wrong place at the wrong time and ends up sometimes even rewriting the events of the game. That's just hilarious. But there's honestly not much that I can think of that's wrong with this show at the moment. It's just one of those shows where I can just sit back and relax and laugh at all these dumb people. Of course, I've only watched 3 or 4 episodes of it at the moment, so for all I know, they could botch the ending, but I really hope they don't. Oh boy, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s is up next. So, this show, when I made the video before, no episodes of it were out. I think, if anything, the first episode was out, but I haven't watched it yet at that point. So now, funny enough, it came out in April, and I watched 4 episodes of it. So I feel like I can give a kind of opinion on it. So to state the obvious, it doesn't look like any other Yu-Gi-Oh! Show. It's done by a different studio, and I can see comparisons to Buddy Fight. I think I mentioned Card Fight Vanguard in the video, but somebody said that it looks more like Buddy Fight than Vanguard because apparently Vanguard's more mature. Never watched it, so I don't know. But honestly, even if it looks different, I still enjoy it. I wouldn't say it's up at the top of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Shows at the moment, but I would say it has some potential because it already has callbacks to other Yu-Gi-Oh! Shows. The first episode had Blue Eyes. What's his name? Gakuto uses Shield and Sword of all things. Even though I'm one of those people that love seeing callbacks to other Yu-Gi-Oh! Shows, I hope they don't use that as a crutch to try and get people to watch. But it's a fun show. Yuga's faced off against the other 3 characters at the moment, so who knows where it'll go from here. So, Princess Connect Redive. This is like the biggest reason that I remade this video, because I didn't talk about this in the original video. I haven't even watched it when I made the original video. But I woke up early in the morning and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna check out this show because it looks interesting. Oh, I wasn't wrong. So, this show is basically Konosuba. I'm not saying it's entirely the same, but it's like Konosuba. But everybody is incompetent. I would say the one that's the most competent is Carol, I think her name is. The one in the back with the black hair. I think her name is Carol, but I can't remember. But you got the whole thing of, oh, it's protagonist boy, lost his memory in a video game. Although I don't think they actually say it's a video game. I don't know. But he's just dumb as bricks. I'm not even sugarcoating that. I think he is literally mentally handicapped or something. Not to make fun of anybody, but it just literally seems like he's got a few screws loose. Of course, I think Pecorine and Kokoro have a couple of screws loose at the same time. I would say it's a mix between Konosuba and the cast of SpongeBob, because Carol in the background is the Squidward, and everybody else is SpongeBob and Patrick, and Carol's just like, why are you guys just like this? You're all just stupid, I don't get it. But at the same time, even if it's just stupid comedy, it does still keep like some form of continuity with Pecorine trying to find the 2 brothers, and that's just... I'm surprised they were able to keep that joke up for a couple of episodes. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows, but I believe that this is based off of an actual video game, which makes sense, because the opening of the show was posted like 2 or 3 years ago, so I kind of hope that that's the case. But this show is just stupid fun. If you're in the mood to watch something stupid with all the crap going on in the world, I'm gonna point you to this show. So I think the last show that I'm going to discuss is Diary of Our Days in Breakwater, I think it's called, which this is another reason that I wanted to remake this video, because this was up, I think I watched like 2 episodes of it, and I recorded the video. Couple of weeks later, oh, would you look at that, now it's delayed. And now I'm kind of sad. Because you got, what's her name? I literally remember her name, but I can't remember her name now. Let's just call her Hat. You got Hat here, who likes arts and crafts. I can kind of relate to that. But she moves to the country, and crazy set of circumstances, now she's in a fishing club, of all things. But she doesn't know how to handle fish, squids, anything like that. And the idea, I guess, is basically teaching Hat about the outside world or whatever. Although it's kind of funny thinking about it, because you've had anime before, like Laid Back Camp, teaching camping through little girls. You got Koisaru Asteroid last year that was teaching girls about space and stuff using moe. Now you got fishing with girls. Wonder what's gonna happen next? Wrestling? Although I guess that kind of already is a concept, but whatever. But above all, what I have seen from this show, it's a very safe show, which isn't bad, but if you're looking for a show that's just gonna break ground and make waves everywhere, pun intended, you're not gonna find it in this show. But it's still a nice, sweet show to watch. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions for Let's Talk Anime, you can leave them down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this season of anime. I think if there was one that I didn't include in this video that I haven't watched yet that I would like to, is Tower of God, because I think a lot of people are talking about it, so I'm kind of curious to see what it's about. But with most seasonal stuff, I kind of prefer to wait until it's completely done. And with this whole thing going on, who knows when any of these shows will actually be done. But thank you for watching, like if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next episode. Momentai.